Good morning. What is up, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, we're talking all about Sony's Marvel Universe plans. Sony's got some plans. You might know this. They're trying to do their own Marvel Universe, and there may be some evidence out there to suggest what some of their plans are. We talked about this weird Solo character before. Well, the Illuminati is reporting that it's possible Solo will be the Nick Fury of the Sony Marvel Universe. Going to talk about that. I'm going to be joined by executive producer Ryan H. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to go over Battle Bracket a little bit. We're also going to talk about the watch through. We're doing an Infinity Saga watch through in a Twitter group starting tonight at 8 p.m. Ken Cologne handling that over on our social media. If you want to join the watch through and sort of live tweet as we watch Iron Man 1, the very first movie that started the whole cinematic universe, that's what's going on tonight at 8 p.m. So make sure you go over and join us on Twitter for that. But I want to know, how is everyone doing? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? I see a bunch of beautiful faces in here. I see Russell. I see Cody, Captain Pennsylvania, David, Coachella Coastal, Trev, Shannara, Patrick, Renee, Nick, Ryan's in the chat. Andy's on the stream. It's crazy. What's going on, everybody? Oh, and Ken Cologne is over here as well. How are we all doing? Hey, look, you guys let me know, too, if you could. Is this freaking stream showing up on YouTube? Is YouTube finally putting our streams back out into the freaking subscription feeds? You let me know, guys. I don't know. YouTube's been pretty wild to us here lately, I'll tell you that. But I'm glad to see all of you beautiful people here. Notified you this morning? Had to wait for YouTube? Okay. Hey, look, at least we're getting notifications out there. Look, right now, it's all just the it showed up in notifications, not on my sub feed. Still no notifications. Okay. Well, hopefully everything will get sorted out. Look, right now, I think YouTube, like much of the world, is chaos, baby. It's fucking chaos. It's craziness. So I'm going to bring Ryan in. Ryan, executive producer Ryan H. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Hello. What's going on, Josh?
Oh, just living my best life in the quarantine.
I'm excited to be on today. It's a hell of a day for us. Battle brackets.
Yeah, man.
Watching.
I know.
I'm off today, so I'm gonna hit
Warzone pretty hard.
all day.
Nice.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I'm looking. I'm hoping that I can get. Things are so weird right now. They just shut us down as far as we're not really supposed to go outside at all, basically. Which is like okay. And apparently Best Buy is still doing stuff. We had Alex
They're
on.
essential.
Yeah. Well, they're essential to like on home businesses and everything. Last night, somebody mentioned that in the community stream. I think it was Alex H last night in the community stream. By the way, what a great community stream we had last night.
Yeah, I was watching some of it. It was great.
Yeah. Just talking about Black Widow going to digital. A lot of people had different thoughts about it, but it was cool, and I could feel people kind of stretching their mental legs a bit. Like just being able to converse and talk about these things. It was pretty stinking cool. But let's talk battle bracket, man. So yesterday, another moment in which we got a little bit of heat. I don't know if people realize this or not. We're not voting. I mean, we are voting, but we're not everybody that votes, right?
Right.
So yesterday we had. Oh, I gotta bring your audio up, don't I? Yesterday we had DOS Joker beat Golden Frieza.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, guys. Joker's kind of one of the most iconic characters of all time, so it's going to be tough to go against him. That's why we put him up in that first spot.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill is having himself a battle bracket, huh?
Yeah, Hamill's having a good battle bracket, that's for sure. And I'll say this: I get people being upset that Joker beat Frieza, but like I think the thing is, almost no matter what, people are going to be upset, right? Like the Joker fans would have been pissed if Frieza had won. And, Batman got beat by Luke Skywalker, which I still can't believe. So it's like...
Look, I'm not saying I didn't tell you, but he's making a run. He's making a run.
Luke is making a run. I know. It's pretty wild stuff. But today's matchup is probably the matchup I'm most... Out of all of them, Batman Luke to me was very interesting. I was really surprised at the margin in which Luke won. But today we have you want to let the people know it's a Mad Titan versus a Sith Lord.
Yeah, no, we have Thanos versus Vader today, which is like probably the most generational bad guys ever. On one hand, people that were born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, Darth Vader that was their all-time villain, and now you have all the kids today growing up with Thanos who this is going to be fun. I like this one.
I think this is the reason I am so interested in this matchup is because something the Russo brothers said where they were like, we are making Thanos into the new Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I really believe that. Like, Thanos sort of is the new Darth Vader for a lot of these kids. Like, Vader was just the most iconic villain. Everybody was like, holy crap. Here's a great silhouette, too, which I think is really important to character recognition. But Vader is obviously the OG. But Thanos is coming in as the new hotness, as the new version of Vader.
Yeah.
I tend to think that Thanos has this one. I don't know if you agree, though. What do you think?
I have no clue right now. I can't even, I don't think I can even say anything because I don't know.
And where
it's gonna be great.
Can we pull up how many perfect brackets? Do we still have any perfect brackets?
Yeah. We did. I didn't update the scores for last night yet.
Yeah, it's all good.
But we were at about 8 maybe.
Dang. I know I'm not one of them at this point.
Yeah.
I had Batman over Luke all day.
Yeah.
I was
Let's go
convinced.
It was out. It's done.
Yeah. Spidey's still doing pretty decent though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is gonna be a fun next couple of days.
Yeah, the next few matchups are gonna be very interesting, and I believe we're waiting. The voting for the last one will go all throughout the weekend, and we'll tap it. We'll cap it on Monday morning. Okay, and then Monday's show is gonna be really cool, where we will talk about who won the gauntlet. We should have all the details at that point. We should know who won the gauntlet. And then we'll be sending out, for the top 5 or something, we'll send out some Den of Nerds t-shirts as well. So yeah, we'll get it popping on Monday. But yeah, the rest of the week's gonna be really crazy. But let us know in chat. What do you guys think? Who do you got? Who do you got? You got Vader? Do you got Thanos? Who you think's gonna be taking it down? You let us know. Let us know in chat. Well, as I am at home and I am drunk. Jason, as long as you sober up a little bit by 8:00, Jason and I are we're playing Dungeons and Dragons together. Jason is running a campaign with me and my buddies. By the way, folks, I would just like to take a small sip of this Taylor Lane official coffee of the morning streams. Just one moment here. Oh my God. That tastes like the inevitable feeling of when we're all allowed to be normal again and we can go outside and frolic. I'm getting the feeling of when I'll finally be able to take another trip to Boston and give my mother a hug. Somehow that feeling is emanating from that coffee.
Some good coffee.
I tell you what, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And we're working on getting an official blend for the Den of Nerds. I can't believe it. Mama, we made it. Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage is coming. And we will have, we already have a little discount that people can use. The code, I believe it's Nerd10. If you want to double check me on that, Maverick, I believe it's Nerd10.
10 out of 10 on the Rage meter.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, I hear there's a lot of people in chat talking about the stones. I don't think we can give the stones to anybody. Thanos can't have the stones. He would run house. He would run.
Do you think
house.
he would? See, I don't know, man. Even with the stones, I think Vader could give him a shot.
No.
The Force is strong, bro.
The only way, the equivalent of the stones in like the Star Wars universe would be something like maybe getting access to like the world between worlds, or having like the Mortis gods kind of give you a power amp, or something like that. Could perhaps be the way. You know how Palpatine was like, I am all the Sith. Maybe if like we gave Vader like access to all the Sith or something like that. Sith. Yeah, he could potentially do that. But the world between worlds is, and by the way, totally off track. Gonna go a little bit on a tangent here. I saw, if you folks have not watched a channel called Star Wars Speculation, I really like this dude's videos. And actually, I'm thinking about reaching out to him and maybe doing a collaboration or something like that. He did a video talking about how he thinks that at the end of Rise of Skywalker, Rey accesses the world between worlds. And the evidence for it is actually fantastic. And there's some stuff that I heard from people that I haven't like talked about publicly, because you can't talk about everything I tell you, says my friends in Star Wars land. But it lines up with some of the stuff I heard about potential ways they were going to originally explain Palpatine's return. But yeah, because there's the voices, like there's no Force Ghost, right? It's just voices. Well, that's what they hear when they go into the world between worlds in Star Wars Rebels. Anyways, let's get into this topic of the day, the main topic of the day. I want to talk to you guys about Sony's Marvel plans, and I'm interested because I think what we'll do here is we'll talk about the potential here. We'll talk about some of the evidence of what is going on in this Morbius movie, in Venom 2, and things of that nature. But I really want to talk also about this deep-seated distrust and potential almost hatred that Marvel fans have when it comes to Sony. It's pretty amazing, but we'll go through those kind of steps. So, Ryan, do you know who Solo is?
Yes. He's a pilot for the Millennium Falcon, right?
Yes. He is. He is that. He also happens to be a character that was created in a Spider-Man comic, and therefore Sony has all of the flipping rights to Solo. Okay? Now, right. Solo is a character named James Bourne. He's essentially a giant ripoff of Jason Bourne. He has implants in him that allow him to teleport short distances. Okay, so he's cybernetically enhanced. He is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He has had association with S.H.I.E.L.D. But the thing that's really interesting is a report came out, and we touched on it on Thursday, and we were talking about how that character and Man-Wolf were being looked at to be developed as solo Sony Marvel movies. Okay. And one of the things that was brought up recently, the Illuminati did sort of a follow-up article to this, and they sort of speculated that they think that Solo, that character, could potentially be the Nick Fury of the Sony Marvel universe, and he could start recruiting all of these anti-heroes and heroes together to have a sort of more like SHIELD thing going on in the Sony Marvel universe. And so what's your raw reaction to that? And I'm going to look another thing up that I wanted to talk about as well.
Well, yeah. So I was made privy to this information. I was in my slumber this morning and nice warm in my bed, and I hear my phone go off. Oh, it's Josh. That's so nice. And I open up my phone and I see the link to it and I go, who the fuck cares?
Oh,
Turn it over. And I put it away. I don't want this. I don't know. I see this and I just see them trying to reinvent the wheel that's already the best wheel in cinema right now. So why? I don't know. A few months back we did a video when all the Sony Marvel stuff went down.
Yep.
And we were like, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. And I still think that would have been the case, but I think they're going very far, very quickly, and I feel personally like this is gonna backfire on them.
Well, it certainly could. I mean, it certainly could backfire on them, and it looks to be something they're trying to set up that is, like you said, a version of the wheel, but we already have that wheel, right? So
right.
My thing is, I totally understand that, and I definitely want to dig into that a little bit more because I find it amazing, this grudge that fans have against it, and I want to dig into it. It's very interesting to me. But there's also this idea of SHIELD itself potentially being sort of the through line, the link that will connect these universes. And as of right now, we don't know exactly what the new arrangement is, okay? But when we reported on the story of the two movies, Man-Wolf and Solo, being developed, that was in the wake of that deal being figured out. And so essentially, if you follow the steps, what happened was Sony had this big plan in motion already to create a world for Tom Holland. That's what their dealio is, right? So they do that. They are going to take that away from Marvel. They don't want Feige. They don't need Feige. They're going to develop their own thing. All of that fallout happens around D23 last year. It's really crazy. Essentially, the parties come back to the table and they figure out that next arrangement. Now, whatever that next arrangement is, we don't have full details on it. All we know is on the Marvel side of things, and this was just to quell sort of the outcry of fans, is that the next movie will be developed in the MCU, something fans were very excited about, and there'll be at least one more appearance of that character in the MCU. Now, Sony obviously got something out of that as well, because as much as we, the fans, view it in a way where we're like, hey, this is getting something, because they're going to be continued to be connected to the MCU. There's no reason to think that that's what Sony believes. Otherwise, that deal would have never broken down in the first place. And so we can assume that Sony is getting something out of this as well. I think especially when you consider that second appearance. Whatever that second appearance is of Tom Holland, I feel as though Feige is saving that for something special, something really important. There were a lot of the rumors that he was going to use that to sort of buffer Captain Marvel 2 and bring more people into the theater for Captain Marvel 2, which is, of course, possible. But what do you think about that? Do you think that Sony maybe did get something, and maybe like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or using S.H.I.E.L.D. or having some kind of a crossover is something that they got out of it? What do you think about that?
I'm not quite sure. I don't think that they got a lot out of it. I think they know that the power of being in the MCU helped them create a $1 billion Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Then the fan backlash kind of put everyone into a corner. And they kind of said, look, as long as we can, they kind of agreed, I think, to try to pull him out in a more respectable way that the fans would like.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
very
then
possible. Yeah,
and then now they're gonna use their characters and go nuts. So maybe they're allowed to share a little, but I just don't think so. I think Feige's smart enough to keep his arc going the way it needs to go and make them think that they get something where it's just going to be unnecessary in the end. Like,
right. Well, the only reason...
now we're moving on to Sword and from Shield.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, go play with Shield. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it potentially could be. I know there's a character, whoever Tyrese is playing in the film. I forget the name of that character, and I have it like pulled up, but I can't switch off the browser, or it'll screw up the stream. So brilliant, Chet. Brilliant design over here, Chet. Thanks a lot,
Chet.
But so that character is a Shield agent, and he's a pretty popular Shield agent in the comics. And there are obviously a lot of law enforcement that look to be in that Morbius trailer. It's very possible that we could have Shield be one of those things that really connects both universes together. And I don't even know. It could have been legally speaking, they might have been able to use Shield anyways. I don't really know. I don't really know how that all buffs out legally. But I think Feige is fine with some concessions as long as most of the traffic flows one way. Right? So as long as most of the traffic flows from the MCU into the SMCU or whatever, I think that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be too concerned. I don't think it affects much of what they're doing. There is something...
Do you think he could just be, telling Sony, like, yeah, go do that, just able to make sure it bombs?
No way. Because honestly, like, I don't know.
I feel like if this bombs, and
they get it back,
Sony, Apple comes in and buys Sony because they need content, and then all the rights reserved right back to them. He's like, I don't know. I'd have that.
It's a hard
vibe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a really weird and hard proposition, though. It's tough because on the one hand, like, I see where your head is at, and obviously, like, if the long game is to get Spider-Man back completely, I mean, like, of course they want Spider-Man back completely, but like Sony probably has a death grip on that character. Like, Far From Home is their biggest movie of all time. It's grossed more than any other James Bond movie, any other movie. Like, it is their biggest film of all time. And Venom did big numbers. You know what I mean? Like, Venom is like a work in progress. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like Venom. You know what I mean?
And that's a huge point because, like, we want Venom. Everyone loved Venom.
Yeah.
We got a crap version of it in Raimi's Spider-Man, so we wanted it. Even if it wasn't great. It wasn't a great movie. We didn't like.
It has flashes. It has flashes of brilliance, and then it has some scenes that you're like, the fact.
Right. But it had Tom Hardy as Venom, and we were like, yes, finally we're getting a piece of this. And like, even though it wasn't great, the end scene credit was Carnage. Oh, that's the other character we've all really wanted to see.
Yeah. I mean,
so like they're piggybacking on the fans right now, and that's why with Solo, I don't. Who asked for any of this? I don't. It seems like Birds of Prey all over again.
I know, but the thing is, they could make it work if Solo is freaking awesome. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the thing that everybody's discounting is like this Solo character could be brilliant. And by the way, I think I know who's the Hemsworth that plays Stubbs in Westworld. Does anybody watch Westworld here? He plays Stubbs. He's like the shorter, chubbier Hemsworth brother. I think it's Luke. Hemsworth. I don't think it's Liam or Chris. I think it's Luke. And that's your pick. Yeah, Luke, Trev says. That's your guy, dude. That's your guy. Bring him in as Solo. And, I mean, make him, like, super badass. You know what I mean? Oh, we're definitely doing Q&A. We'll get into Q&A in probably like 10, 15 minutes. We'll do some Q&A for sure. So, yeah, I say bring him in. And what if it's freaking amazing, dude? And what if it's Solo Because here's another thing that I was trying to think of. I was trying to think of, so according to like the legality and with the Sony license, Sony owns something like 900 characters, right? 900 Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
Within that world, what kind of huge big event thing could they build towards? What could they do? I mean, there was some really interesting stuff being done with like the symbiote god and Null and things like that. They could build towards that. I'm pretty sure Dracula is so Dracula exists in Marvel Comics, but I believe Dracula is open, not open source, but he's like the copyright doesn't exist with Dracula. Like if you wanted to make a Dracula story, you could. So they could do Dracula,
Yeah, they could.
and a bunch of vampires. Yeah, like there's a
But
lot of interesting things they could build towards.
There is, yeah, right, and that's kind of, I know they're setting up their world right now, so it'll be very good to see what happens when Morbius comes out, and the storylines that come out of that. Yeah, I know we are all thinking Sinister Six, of course, because again, that's something we haven't seen and we want. So if they can do that right.
Oh my God, Trinity, dude, Trinity. Someone give this man a raise. I don't know who's paying Trinity, but they need to pay him more because this is brilliant. He said they should get Aldrich Ehrenreich to play Solo. I mean, what a boss move that would be, right? Like that would be some cool shit. I gotta be honest, that would be awesome. I would like that. I would like that quite a bit. I think that would be good. And I didn't hate him in that movie anyway. But yeah, there's some cool things. People are talking about Spider-Verse, the real one with the Inheritors and Moreland would be really cool. I did actually like that run quite a bit. So they could definitely do some Spider-Verse-y type stuff. But I think that like the flavor, here's the thing, and we'll get into the fan hate now, but basically I'm in a place where although I love my Marvel MCU stuff, and I really do, like I love the MCU, I still want a little bit of a different flavor out there. You know what I mean? Like one of the things that was cool in the 90s, you know, you get your different flavor. The Fox X-Men had their very unique flavor. The Raimi Spider-Mans and even, you know, the next one with Garfield had its own very unique flavor. The OG Blade movies had like their very unique flavor. And so like I like that. I don't want everything to be so uniformed and so Marvel-y, even though I believe Marvel is doing brilliant things to sort of even expand their toolbox and like their different flavors and things like that. But I think that it could be really cool. Like why wouldn't we want to watch a big Avengers event film or like Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness? But what if we build towards this like the Spider Family versus Dracula and his minions, and it's some crazy fucking thing, you know what I mean? Or
yeah, it's just like what you see, you know, in comic books where they all have their own little world they play in, and then, you know, we get to see them all get together in some Hickman run that isn't, you know, necessarily all tied in together. I think that's great, and it should be that way. They can have their world. I just hope it's a pretty world and a world not destroyed by Thanos as well.
So here's the thing. Do you think that most of the hate here does come from the fact that people just want Spider-Man back at Marvel? Do you think that's what it is? They just really want, like they want Sony to fail simply because they want it with Feige. Is that what you think's going on here?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I also think that it's just a certain distrust of what Sony's been able to accomplish with their films. Again, Venom was great, but there's no track record that shows it's, you know, they're going to do good with a good character.
Yeah. So you think it's just general distrust of Sony?
Right. And again, that could be just for now. And Morbius comes out and it's okay again, and it doesn't really pull the rug out of anyone's feet.
Yeah.
You know, it'll, again, they have a lot of building to do within the fan base that it's just a trust build right now. So they have to keep putting out good stuff.
I got to tell you, I think Venom 2 is built. They've built Venom 2 as a hype machine. I mean, I think it's a perfect scenario with Carnage and Venom being together. You have two great actors, very, very lovable dudes. That press tour is going to be a fucking blast.
Oh,
dude. That's
yeah.
gonna be a blast. And Harrelson looks to just be having a blast on set.
Right.
Everybody's having so much fun. And then you add into the fact of Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is, I mean, the sweaties, the nerds. We all love Andy Serkis. From
Right.
back in Lord of the fucking Rings, homie. Golem. You know what I mean? Like from Golem to Snoke to Ape, bro, and all the way forward. Like I just think that they've really done a great job of building sort of a hype machine for Venom 2. And I don't know, Morbius. I mean, Morbius is kind of an interesting thing. We'll see. I really liked that trailer, and I think the trailer did a really good job of just bringing people in and being like, okay, I'm into it. And the tie-ins to Spider-Man, right, Murderer, and all that, and the potential here, and slight spoilers, but the potential for Vulture and all of those characters to be in prison together and really making that feel like an extension of the MCU. It kind of seems pretty brilliant to me. I don't know why all the hate, because even on the post on Reddit, like if you look at the post, the top upvoted comment is literally Sony are nuts, pass it on. And then it's Sony are crazy, pass it on. And then literally just everybody talking about how ridiculous Sony is. And it's literally just everybody being like, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? This is ridiculous. So why all the hate?
I think they just want to see something different. Like now you have an opportunity to give us some different flavor. So I think they just see it as you're giving us a same type of story with different characters, and that's going to cause some unease amongst fans.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it, but I'm also a little bit,
because I want something different. Like if you're gonna do this Spider-Man thing and it's gonna be your own universe, like just give us Spider-Man. Your Spider-Man, like own it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then stop, but do it. You've seen the man at work. All these people work under him, and you guys have also been making these killer movies for so long. So like if you have the formula, do what you need to do with that formula, but don't rip the formula.
I think Jacob has an interesting point where he says it just feels like they're trying to lie to people with a pseudo MCU canon. Do you think that's part of it? Is that kind of it? Because like that's the thing. Like it really does feel like they're playing a little dirty with that.
Sure. Again, that if you're ripping open multiverses and this, that, and a thirding, maybe there's a plan. Maybe there's a through line that they've written and have thought out, and we don't know it yet, and it's perfect and amazing, and we'll all be applauding them at the end. I hope that's the case.
I hope it's the case.
That's what I was thinking before. Like, they're just gonna try to nudge the fact that he's in the MCU, so we can piggyback onto other things.
I mean, that's a huge debate, right? It's like, well, look, if it looks like the MCU, if it smells like the MCU, if it sounds like the MCU, is it the MCU? You know what I mean? And like, if Feige doesn't come out and just say like, nah, fam, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're in a spot. It's really interesting to see how these two groups of fans are like freaking out about it. I think certain fans really welcome it. They're like, oh no, the Sony branch of the MCU, that's cool. And to me, it just feels a lot like what it was with the Netflix shows, where it's that the Netflix shows will take reference and it'll feel really connected. Like when you watch Daredevil, especially the first couple seasons, it feels like it's really there.
Mm-hmm.
But then at some point you're looking around and you're like, where the fuck are the Avengers? Like where would they be? But then again, now there's no Avengers, right?
Right.
So maybe now's the time to do it.
They always made it kind of obscure in the Netflix shows, which was they were what they were, and which was great.
What about the blip? Is the blip and the snap going to be canon to Sony? Are they going to explain that? Like, is that shit going to be explained in Morbius?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the only way to make this work is to put him in a different universe.
Yeah, like to literally have him go through a portal.
If one day, maybe after, I'm not saying this because you can have, once the Fantastic Four comes in and Reed Richards starts doing some crazy stuff, you can have them interact with each other. It could be, that's your ultimate, right? Your penultimate event in 10 years when, everything, there's comic book fatigue and all these characters, we don't know what to do with them anymore. That's when you secret wars them, and all the universes start collapsing on each other, this, that, and a third.
Yeah.
But I don't, our Spider-Man, Tom Holland, yeah, he knows what the blip is, but I'm not sure if everyone else will.
I think that'll be a really interesting sort of deciding factor on that, right? Like if they don't touch it, that might be the space. That might be the space that Feige's looking for. But
Sure.
folks, we're gonna shift into Q&A now, guys, and we'll run probably about 20 minutes in Q&A. Feel free to bring any thoughts, any questions, anything that's on your mind when it comes to Q&A. Ryan and I can mull it over, give you our thoughts. And tell you kind of how it is.
I'm a mindless shell, so I don't know what you're talking
about. I feel like we're all kind of turning into mindless shells a little bit. It's a very weird time out there, folks. But if you want to forget all about the weirdness outside, get yourself some Taylor Lane organic coffee. Take a couple of sips, and you'll be feeling right as rain. I promise you. Holy God! If I could, I'd shower with this stuff.
I wasn't ready for that.
Just
excellent
all over it, you know what I mean? Just
that's the commercial we deserve, Josh.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, there you go, Mav.
Yeah, Mav with the look. He's just quick on the draw, that Mav. Aren't you, Pilgrim? I bet he's been waiting years for me to do something like that. Will Sony give Marvel permission to use Morbius in something like Marvel Knights? You want to take that one? My gut reaction is hell no.
I don't think so. How? Oh, maybe. I'm not gonna say no. I don't. There's too much up in the air right now.
Yeah.
They could look. Maybe they're playing hand in hand, and it would make no sense probably for Sony not to do it. That movie would probably make more money than any solo Morbius movie.
Well,
in
what
my
he's
opinion.
saying is, would Sony give Marvel permission to use Morbius?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
the movie would make more money, get more people to see Morbius. Sony should almost allow, obviously, any character to go in there because it helps the brand of your character.
Yeah.
Especially I get Spider-Man. He's so big. He doesn't need anyone else. But
right.
I think smaller characters like Morbius, stuff like that, sure. Like Venom doesn't need, I think, the Marvel, the MCU's help. But I think you'll see. I think there's going to be some underperforming box office for this film, at least for Morbius.
Well, right now, kind of looks like it might be an underperforming box office for every film for a little bit there. But yeah, no, I think that's fair. I very much doubt it unless there's some kind of an arrangement, something worked out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
There, like we kind of continue to say, we really don't know. We don't know what it all looks like right now. It's all about who values what who could do what, and also. With the X-Men and Fantastic Four right around the corner, guys. I know Spider-Man's very valuable. He's obviously valuable, but look, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that once this fallout happened with Sony, Marvel was like, okay, let's recalibrate. We do not want to be beholden to Sony. We cannot be beholden to them. Feige got that second movie. He's got probably a really good idea and a plan for that second movie, but I don't think it goes much further beyond that. But I want to go to Anthony's question here because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Anthony has been trying to get this question answered for a while here.
So many times.
Josh and Ryan, as a fan of Star Wars and the MCU, what wrestler would you guys want to go into either one of those and play characters for each of the franchises that you would want them to play? That's such an interesting question. Shit, man. Wrestlers that could play a role in either Star Wars or the MCU. Do you got anything right off the bat?
Does it have to be current, or can it? I haven't watched wrestling in a very long time.
Yeah, no, I would say it doesn't have to be current. No.
I would love to see The Rock be the Thing.
Rock could be a good thing.
Some reason I don't even think it would be. I just want to see him play it. I don't know if that like. I don't think he's the kind of character for it.
Yeah.
Like his acting, I don't think that's his wheelhouse.
The Rock,
there's other characters that I think he would be better at playing, but I just every time I see it, I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny, like I think of like, the big wrestlers and the crazy, big bulky people could potentially all work as a version of Sith Lords. The Undertaker could be a very interesting Sith.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Trev, thank you so much for the super chat, brother.
Cena would probably play a really good Thing. Dumb, broody.
Yes, dude, Cena as the Thing.
He could play it.
Yeah, you just sold me on that. On Yancey Street or whatever. Yeah, that would be really cool, actually. I think that he could work as that. I also think some of the female wrestlers, you know what I mean? We already have Gina Carano, and I think there's another female wrestler that's being brought into The Mandalorian. I think that feels really right, particularly in the Star Wars universe. Gina's physicality in The Mandalorian was awesome. I mean, she
was great.
Yeah, we totally buy it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I sometimes it's a little weird for these, like, skinny, beautiful-looking women to be handling business like that. There's something about it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Look, Karen Gillian can kick my ass whenever she wants. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, no, she can. I mean, look, I go back and forth on Karen, man. Like the whole Depp thing is like I don't know what to think about it, but I'm kind of like, fuck Karen Gilliam, to be honest with you. But she is a very beautiful woman, that's for sure. But yeah, I just love the physicality of some of those actresses coming over. I think that's fucking cool, man. So that would kind of be where my head was at with it. Yeah, man. As far as the MCU, it's a little trickier. I mean, they can all play obviously big physical people. So anything that Rob Liefeld did in the 90s would work for almost any of them. But yeah, let's see what Trev here said with the super chat. Spider-Verse will show hundreds of Tom Holland Peters tying Spider-Verse animated into the Spider-Verse, and Tom can be Sonyverse Spider-Man and MCU Spider-Man. So this is kind of an interesting idea here. So what Trev is, I think, kind of saying is, could Tom Holland play a version of Peter from this universe and play a version of Peter in Sony's universe and then be separate characters and potentially meet each other in a Spider-Verse? What do you think about that? Oh,
sure.
That's Amber Heard. Huh? Oh, yeah, no, I'm all fucked up here. Karen Gilliam is not Amber Heard.
No.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry, Karen. Karen is bae.
We apologize for Josh's no.
Hey, look, man, I'm just going to take a sip of this official coffee of the morning stream while you answer that Taylor Lane organic coffee. Go ahead, though, Ryan. What do you think?
That'd be a fun scene, I think. I would rather they didn't do that. I think it would be much easier for the fans to just have one. I think they should, bring him over. Don't do the Madame Web thing, how she's going to be, pulling all the strings to get, find a way. That universe's Spider-Man got killed in a freak accident, and they need a Spider-Man to save that whole world, and,
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just laughing at what Josh Mason said. Give that bitch the Rona. Oh, my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. I would never condone that, but... Yeah. So no, yeah, I get you. I think it could work though, and I get where his head is at, because that's a beautiful way, and something that we hadn't talked about is having multiple versions of Tom Holland. That's pretty freaking wild, dude. Like, that could be really wild. And as an actor, that could maybe excite Holland and get him kind of into it. I mean, we've already done that in the MCU with Gamora. Do you know what I mean? Like, we killed Gamora, and then we have old Gamora coming back. look, all the comic book craziness is like sort of just starting to trickle into the MCU. That's what I love about it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the normies are like, where do we go from here? And all the comic book fans are like, bah! You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of places that we could go from here. So,
Right.
no, I appreciate the question and the super chat, of course, Trev. Trev, by the way, is one of our oldest Patreon supporters. Been supporting us on Patreon for so long, and I just appreciate it, man. So I appreciate the love. Thank you, brother. Let's see here. Anybody else got any more questions? I know the old Karen Gillian. You know what? It's so funny. Like, I've been watching people. I've been so fucked up on this. I've been watching people like post stuff about Karen Gillian, and I'm literally in my head. But yeah, after what she did to Johnny, no thanks. Literally, literally.
Oh no!
I've been holding
That
all
poor
this shit
woman.
against her, and now I
She's-
feel so bad.
If Mark Hamill now is the nerd king, right?
Yeah.
She's kind of slowly turning into a nerd queen.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
can. She's McQueen, to quote
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
MCU now.
Yeah.
She just got to get into the Lord of the Rings show,
Hell
and
yeah.
she'll have it.
Now I feel so much better. It's like a weight has been lifted off of me now that I've understood
See?
that those two. It's like, you know, look, all redheaded white people look the same to me. You know what I mean? So it's like that. It was a hard one, but yeah, like, I feel so much better now. So thank you, chat, for setting me on the straight and narrow. Let's see here. Wandering Dog says, "Hey Josh, is there a way to reach you personally to talk about writing with the Den of Nerds? I think our Twitter convo got lost." Oh yeah, no, I apologize about that, man. Things have just been weird lately, but no, I'll try to get on the Twitter today and I'll look at your thing. But if you want to, you can email me at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. And having some of that getting writing going on the website is something we have talked about. So yeah, please email me at thedenofnerds@gmail.com and we'll get that sorted out. Let's see here. What if 90 animated Spider-Man slips into the MCU in search of his Mary Jane? He never found her, and the series ended on a cliffhanger. Hey, that could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No. I think, man, like I said, we just don't know. That would be fun to watch.
It would be fun to know.
I haven't.
Watch.
Oh God, that series, man, I miss that series.
I loved it. Yeah, I love
again.
that series. I was rewatching it on the old Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. You know what else is really brilliant is that freaking 90s X-Men show, dude. And like, you know what else? As I was watching that, I was like, they don't hold the kids' hands, man. Like, they go for it. They go for difficult things to talk about. They go for sensitive things, and they do it in a really nice way. And I feel like kids shows these days are all like, it's all like soft and trying to be sensitive and not trying to go there and shit like that. And it's like, man, like,
yeah, no,
that
those are
90s
great.
X-Men show was bold, bro. Like, it was good. Star Wars Santa says Vader needs more votes on Twitter. Well, in about an hour, I like to open up the poll on the community tab around noon. So we'll be opening it up around noon o'clock on the community tab on Facebook. But yeah, I can imagine Thanos might be taking an early lead, I guess, on Twitter.
I don't know. But I know that I'm gonna be up very late tonight having to count votes.
Yeah, it's vote.
It's gonna be another one of those.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Florida in 08. Demand a recount. And then yeah, Trev says Gargoyles is on there too. Gargoyles is one of the most underrated animated shows of all time. If you haven't seen Gargoyles, you gotta check it out. Oh, Vader has a slight lead. Star Wars Santa says we need to pad it. Interesting.
Be careful, don't get greedy.
Yeah. Silver Surfer was a great show, Exar Kun says. You know what? Shout out to Exar Kun, too. I just need to do a shout out to Exar Kun. Exar Kun, usually, if not the first person to comment on a video, the first 3 to comment on a video, always getting the nerd cards, always posting stuff. Man, Exar Kun is a real one. So shout out to you, Exar Kun. I appreciate the love, man.
And he brings up the Fantastic Four cartoon. I actually started to like rewatch that because I want to see if there's any threads that they could pull, maybe even out of that.
Yeah,
bringing in the Fantastic Four.
I'll tell you what, I'm loving the current Thor run with the Galactus and that power that he's giving to Thor. And I'm just like, dude, that's what I love about comics so much. And you know, I think there's people that are like, okay, well, why should I even read comics? All the good stuff is on the screen and all that. Comics are the place where you can get that weird comic goodness. Like when they did the Punisher getting the War Machine armor. Like that is just it's like an incubator for all these awesome nerdy ideas that happen, and then you can see and experience how all of those go down. I mean, comics are great, man. You know what I mean? Too bad we won't be getting any for like the foreseeable future. But yeah, and you know what, Captain Pennsylvania, I want to bring this up too, man. Savage Avengers. Just let me know. Should I be reading Savage Avengers? Because I know it's got your boy Conan in it. I was reading a little bit up on it. I might dive into that later today. So yeah, let me know, Captain Pennsylvania, and try not to freak out too hard. But yeah, he says, hell yeah. War Machine Punisher is the nastiest creation of all time. It was cool, man. It was really cool. I also really liked there was where Red Hulk, in one of the recent Thunderbolts books, Red Hulk got the symbiote on him and had the power of the Ghost Rider. And I forget what they called it, but he's basically had the power of Ghost Rider, and he's Red Hulk, and the symbiote was on him. It was like one of the gnarliest, freaking most amazing things I had ever seen. Super OP, but I loved it. I loved it. Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, can't forget about the Incredible Hulk, and Double A was good too. What's the Double A? Avengers Assemble? Oh, that cartoon? Is that what you're talking
about? Not to put you on the spot, but how are we doing this Twitter rewatch thing? Very excited for this.
So the Twitter rewatch thing will start at 8:00, and there's a Twitter group that you can get added to, and so like you go into that group and everybody will be kind of tweeting in the group, just talking about the things. I won't be able to make tonight's, but I'm hoping that maybe like what we can turn it into is maybe once a week we do the Twitter thing and we do a stream where we're streaming and talking about it, and we sort of move the Twitter chat onto the chat on the channel, which would be really cool. But yeah, Ken sort of spearheaded that up. And so yeah, that's gonna be really cool. I don't know when he wants to do the next one. Yinzer Jim, thanks so much, brother, for the support. Appreciate that. Thanks for another great show. Everyone, try to support small local business if you can. 100%, man. 100%.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Got to try to get out there, man. We're gonna realize real quick how connected we all are. You know what I mean? And that's really good. But the movie order is gonna be the order of release. So they'll be doing Iron Man tonight. They might do Hulk tomorrow. I'm not sure what the schedule is exactly, but I do know that the first one is officially tonight at 8, and Ken is spearheading that effort. And so
and I'm actually okay with order of release because I haven't done that in a while. I've done the chronological twice back to back, and I can use a little switch up.
Yeah.
I need people to make some different, I don't know, the Thanos cut. Give me some more. Yeah. You know, they have like the Palpatine one and, all those different, the machete. I love all that. Mm-hmm. I need a different way to watch another 20 movies again.
Yep. Definitely. Gavin Duffy, thanks so much for the support, brother. Appreciate the donation. Stay strong. Thanks for making content in these hard times. For sure, man. We're gonna crank it on out. In fact, the video that will be coming out later today on the main channel is all about Hawkeye being in Black Widow. There's another one of these crazy 4chan leaks out there talking about Hawkeye in Black Widow, but it actually does match up with some other stuff that we talked about. So look for that video later today on the main channel. Going to dive into that. And we've got a ton of cool content ideas that we will be talking about in the near future. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call the stream here. Thanks for being on, Ryan. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Hey, I will be jumping on to Call of Duty Warzone, TGI Potter.
Nice. Send me your stuff. I want to play, and I want to do another stream with it, but I need to get to Best Buy to try to get that mic thing so that the party chat can go through the computer. And it's just a little weird with me being told not to leave the house. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, either way, we should be playing on there. And
cool.
Yeah, and Russell's on there. Yeah, the splitter. And Russell's on there, and Russell is a beast. Best Buy will deliver it. Boom. That's what we'll do then. Cool.
There you go.
All right.
Cap, because it's my day off. I'm a restaurant worker who has weird hours.
Oh yeah, I remember the restaurant life. I remember the restaurant life. What's your Warzone display name? Fuck. Stop Mirror 21098, I think, is my Xbox thing, but I don't remember the there's like an Activision thing that you need for all that and all that. So, but anyways, guys, we're gonna call it. Plenty of content coming at you. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Josh, can you please read my comment from before?
It's about bringing in Madam.
Oh, Merlin.
Oh, Merlin. Yeah.
Morgan into the Eternals or standalone Black Knight movie. I don't know if they'll do anything standalone Black Knight, but I do hope that Kit Harington has a long life in the MCU. I think Black Knight is a dope character, and it would be really cool to see how they do that. Maybe they could show Merlin even in Eternals. You know what I mean? Like, depending on how far back that line goes, there's time for that. But thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you again at 10 a.m. Make sure you check out the video on the main channel. Probably coming out in, I'd say probably like 3 or 4 today. Check that out. And, yeah, as I always say, hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Chet, should I even ask about the outro? I don't even want to.